Oh, something just popped up there and I don't know what it was. Hi, hello, and welcome. I am Emma from Emma's Happy Place Arts and Crafts, and I love to craft everything, absolutely everything. If it's paper, pens, glitter, glue, clay, resin, anything at all, I love it. And tonight we're going to make some super easy, super quick. It doesn't have to be this paper. I spilled ink everywhere, hence the pink hands, but it doesn't have to be Grinch paper, it doesn't have to be stitch paper. This is just what I had in the house. It can be absolutely any kind of paper, from Christmas cards, Christmas paper, birthday paper, anything at all. If you pick and it's got repeating patterns, then you can do this with it. So I think I'm live. I am live. So all we're going to do now is 3D decoupage. Now, I learned how to do this when I was young. 12, 13? No, younger than that. 11, 12. Actually, it happened. I got knocked over as a kid. I'm sure I've told this tale before. And I ended up in a wheelchair for a while because I'd smashed my ankle. So I ended up at a church craft group. My mum took us down and wheeled us down and left us there, and we worked with wrapping paper. And I made, because we had a golden retriever at the time called Henry, and I made this dog picture from wrapping paper, and it went in a frame and it was 3D, and from then on I was completely obsessed. Now I have done, and I did show you this. What did I do with? Oh, I've squished it. I've squished it, of course I have. This one. Now you can do anything at all. All it is building up the same image so many times. This one, I probably would have inked around the edges now looking back, but that in a frame, which is going to go in a frame, it's going to go in my sitting room, it will be absolutely gorgeous. Love the flower fairies. So what I've done is I have already, out of this paper, I cut it down to manageable size pieces. And I mean, imagine how many you can make. There's so many lovely papers. This is quite cheap paper. Hi, Dominique. So I wouldn't recommend using silicone. But if the paper's a little bit thicker, a bit more expensive, then use silicone. I'm going to use foam. I could use silicone on this, but I'm frightened in case it bleeds through. And all I use is clear bathroom silicone. You know, the ones that you get at the big glue gun. So that's what I use. So I've cut it down and I have cut the repeating patterns out. Now I have cut simple ones out. And now I could be going over something that you already know. We are going to cut it out. It's not going to be the most exciting of, we are just cutting and sticking, but it's really interesting when you start to build them up and they get more intricate. And I absolutely love it. So this is quick, easy, fantastically cute, easy Christmas cards. Hi, Dominique. Hi, Mr. Trekkie. Are you all right? Is that Phil? So start off with, I'm going to cut out. You can leave a border if you want to. Move the paper. Again, these can be bigger images. I'm working with small. I'm working with what I've got. You can get so many nice papers as well. You can get, I mean, if you go to museums and things, you get that big fancy paper. And it might be £3 a sheet, but if you get repeating patterns or get a couple of sheets, you can do this until the cows come home. So all I'm going to do is, what I'm saying is making Christmas cards does not have to cost a fortune, especially nowadays, because posting them and things is crazy. But you can use thinner foam as well to do this. But if you save on the cost of making them, then the world's your oyster. And I thought this was a really interesting life for anybody who's just starting out, who has never done the 3D decoupage before. Because that originally, decoupage means 3D in French or something. I did look it up once. It's something like that. And obviously the original decoupage was the flat against glass and things. But this, I'm not sure when this came out. So all I'm doing is I'm cutting around it. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can. I should have maybe went for the other one, the Grinch head, because it's a little bit less intricate. Hang on, I'll swap. So I've got the Grinch head, so we'll make one stitch one and one Grinch head. And this one has got the snowflake behind, so I'm going to use that as the first layer. Right, so I'll come back to Stitch another time, or I'll do a video with them, because I have got Stitch's girlfriend here. Right, and I love the Grinch. Everybody knows the Grinch. So what I'm do is, and you can take these as far as you want. All I'm doing is cutting it out. I don't want to bore everybody to tears with it. And so, yes, sorry I missed Tuesday. I went for tea. And food's very important. I'm never ever going to pass up a free tea or a non-cooking tea. I had shepherd's pie. It means the action of cutting. Decoupage, does it? Oh. Right. See, I got told years ago it meant 3D, but the action of cutting. Well, I never. That makes more sense. See, I'm pleased you're here because I've been saying it for years that decoupage was. Saying that, I've been saying 3D decoupage, which obviously does not make sense if it already meant 3D. So I possibly read it when I was 13. So I used to stay in on a break time and teach this to other kids at school. We had a little decoupage group because I couldn't go out because my leg was knackered. It's still knackered. But yes. Okay, all I'm going to do is hopefully this will get quicker because I don't want everybody to fall asleep. Oh, nearly there for this one. Like I say, I've already got another one cut out, which wouldn't just stick together. But we are going to turn them into cards as well. Super simple, super easy, fun cards. And again, leave a border if you're not the greatest at cutting out. So that's the first one. This one's super easy now because basically it's just the more you do it, the easier the cutting out gets. At one point I was cutting out eyelashes and things. I was cutting out butterfly eye, 10 eyes. And I usually cut all of the the colour away from the inside of it. So if you've got the likes of, where's it gone? I literally had it in my hand. This one here. What I did was inside of here, I cut it all out as well. So the more you practice, the easier the cutting out gets. And if you're more confident with a craft knife, I mean, I don't know how anybody is with the gyro cut. I'm rubbish with it. But the likes of this paper, like I say, it's really, really cheap paper. I think it was like 89 pence for 2 meters. So it's not the best. And my cutting out is not the best either at night. So let's just go with it. So there we go. So the snowflake is in the background and then his face. And then the next one will be his hat. So each time we are building up the bit closest to us. So I'm going to cut. See, his hat goes around the back of his head. So I'm going to cut up here. So it comes forward. And then all the way around his hat. Has anybody ever done this apart from the ones that were already like die cut out for you, or all the bits were already taken out? It's more fun when you're building it up yourself because you can go as far as you want with it. Well, you can go as far as you want with it. You can take out the likes of each individual petal. Like I'm going to do here, I'm going to take out the fluff on his hat. You can take out even hands and things like that and build it up. It just depends on how far you would like to take it. And it's just another idea of making something out of nothing, really. There we go. So this one is 4 layers, super easy. And then I would curl each bit. You can ink around the edges of them if you want. I'm not going to, just because I never used to. The likes of the flower fairies things, if they go in the frame, I probably would. Each layer you can actually cut out and stick it on as you go if you want. Again, I quite like it. It's like building a jigsaw. So, yes, it's completely up to you how far you want to take it. Again, I've got really simple ones. We can go further if we want to. Turn them all over. 'Cause I'm going to use this. If you've got more expensive paper, I would use silicone glue because you get a little bit wiggle room with it. Like you can move it and get them perfectly straight on top of each other, which I just think makes it look more professional. Now, I'm gonna stick this onto here. Foam pads are fiddly as well. They are fiddly. I just use a cocktail stick with the silicone. I actually might do a video with it because sitting watching me cut everything out is going to get tedious quick. That's why I kind of picked the easier ones. But and once you stick these down, it's kind of it's stuck down forever. It's really hard on the cheaper paper to get it back off. Oh, I'm just cutting it into little strips. And these can go onto baubles. So say you've got a kid. I mean, you can't sell this kind of thing. You've got to have a license to sell the Disney stuff. That I do need to stress. If you're making it for gifts, though, knock your socks off. I mean, there's nobody in the world going to say you can't do it as a gift. Well, maybe it's Disney, mate, but they're never going to know if it's a gift, are they? So now to get this off. This is the world's hardest stuff to get off. This red plastic stuff. Bear with. Bear with. If you don't fall asleep on us. So how is everybody anyway? Where is everybody? It's very quiet in here at night. Again, I've got no nails. All my nails have come off doing stuff. My sister wants us to paint a Christmas treat box, which I've never heard of. I thought it was Christmas Eve box for the weekend. But like, I'm going to meet myself coming back at this rate, so she might have to come and paint it herself, which I'm sure she'll be over the moon about. Exactly, Dominique. Old cards and things like that. They work an absolute treat. And times are hard. And Christmas cards are expensive. I was having a look at how expensive Christmas cards were. And the ones that aren't expensive are blooming awful. Aren't they? And we're crafters. Anybody that comes in here looking for us, mine, has to be a crafter who comes across this. Or they want to learn how to be a crafter. So, like I say, silicone, you get more chance to build it up. Oh, see, that's not straight. It's fine for now. It's fine, Emma. Don't. You're on. I'll just keep, it's my mantra. Just leave it, Emma, for now. It's because you're live and there's a camera there. Glue doesn't stick and foam pads backs don't come off when there's a camera. We're just going to pretend it's straight for now. And then this one, luckily with it being fluffy, it kind of doesn't matter. But can you see that? It's super impressive. And I even have, check me out, cards and card blanks ready. So this one is going to sit on there. But of course, yes, that's pretty. But you can take it even further. So on the paper, there is different things like presents and stuff. Not so much on the Grinch one, but definitely on this one. And let's see. Actually, this one, for anybody who's already got stamps and things like that, let's find a stamp of some sort. Just so it's got a little bit of something in the background. And obviously with it being the Grinch, we can add tiny tinsel and things to it as well, which is awesome. Here we are. I've got a stamp here. It's like a fabric stamp. And I'm going to use, hopefully this one will be able to see. It looks very similar, but this is what we're going with. Always a plan. There's always a plan, never a plan. So that can go over there. And I just used Distress Oxide. That's perfect. And I need some glue. I'm going to go with the tiny tinsel. I love this stuff, tiny tinsel. Emma's favourite tiny tinsel. I'll put that there. And I think, actually, you know, let's just go all out with the foam. I'm going to put that one there and a bit of foam there. And I've got enough of it. I've gone from no foam to having 5,000 metres of foam. Hi, Val! And this one here. And a bit in the middle because we don't want it to sag. And then this is going to come across here like that. And sit there. I'm not pulling it too tight because I don't want it to lift up. And then, ow, that's a finger, Emma. There. And then I do need to find some Merry Christmas words. I've probably got a gazillion of them, none nearby. I do have all the projects that we've made over the past few weeks ready to take pictures of. I have been so bad, like ridiculous. I'm so sorry for not showing them. The light, though, that we made on Sunday is beyond pretty. It is absolutely gorgeous. I even got a fancy turntable so I can do videos of the makes and you can see them at all sides going around the circle. But of course it's me. Actually, on this one as well, you know, we could have put a wiggly border on. Let's see if we can still. Have I got a black pen? I probably haven't. Does this one work? Yeah. Let's go with... Because the Grinch is very much like this, isn't he? I love the Grinch. Everybody knows a Grinch. I've got a grumpy Grinch. Sorry. How is everybody? Oh, I had shepherd's pie for me tea off the mother the other day. Loved it. And the best bit was I didn't have to cook it. Ah, right, that'll do. I'll take them off later. And we're going to pop that one there. I mean, come on. Is that not the cutest thing ever? You can even have the tiny tinsel going over the top. I love it. Easy, simple, pretty much free. I mean, God, this must have cost 5p to make. If that. The card I've had for 100 years. There's a prime. I got glue on it. You can see the shadow coming through. So that's what would happen on cheap paper if you use silicone glue. Now, I am going to do another video when I get round to it of a more intricate decoupage. So that is the Grinch, first one. And then this one is Stitch's girlfriend. And what I've done is I had 5 images of this. So I've cut 2 out, these little curly things, and as well, and all. And she's going to fit onto here. So these could be tags or anything. So I've got pink the same. And what we're going to do is, so I've got 2 the same there with everything on. Next one down, I've cut off ears and the curly bits. They're not ears. Them blue bits here I would normally cut out, but I'm not for tonight because the paper's not the best. That's too thick. Oh, I nearly cut that feeler off. I don't know what they are actually. If you can see foam peeping out, just trim it off. Like I say, you can make some such stunning ones. I'm kind of wishing that when I went out today, I got some better paper. I thought I had more. Oh, I should have printed some off that we could have used. Anyway, I can't remember the name of this one. But this is Stitch's friend. And Stitch is so popular. So if you're making them for grandkids, if you're making money wallets or whatever, these can go on the front and be super cute. Would anybody be interested in another live of this doing something more intricate? Or would you prefer a video of where it's sped up a bit so you're not sitting watching us cut out for days? Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie, I need your dress, lovely. You won the little mini book thing. I popped a comment on the actual video, but I don't think YouTube gives out notifications. And I will get it to you ASAP. And then this one here, so you can see on the third one, we've got two the same. The third one, I've cut off that bit. And then the next one, I've cut out just a face and a hands. Again, more foam. And you don't need an awful lot for this. And to be honest, the foam I'm using is quite thin foam, so it should go through as a normal card if you're posting it. You're very, very welcome, my dear. That is what you said, isn't it? You did. Christopher does the whole, I don't know how he does it, but he does the whole thing for us. He's very good. And then this one, it's just tiny, tiny little bits. I so wish I'd listened to myself and picked up some better paper with bigger images. Hang on, I need some tiny foam. Tiny foam. We'll cut that bit off. I'll pop that there. Live. You would rather live, would you? Are you really sure you want to sit and watch me do this on a big bit of paper, like on bigger, more intricate? I mean, I suppose you could just mute us and sit and listen to some music at the same time. With my big clumsy hands being in the way. There we go. Oh. There we go. So like I said, I'm stuck. Like I say, with silicone, it's a lot easier with a cocktail stick. And when you haven't got a camera over it, it's easier to get straight. But look how cute that is. You can see how 3D she is. And then on here, because with the paper, you get all these little presents and things like that. And baubles and things. We're going to use these on the actual card as well. So, I mean, this one's probably cost basically nothing. So my mission is to get some nicer Christmas paper and then we can take it to a whole new level. I just wanted to do it with this tonight because I didn't want it to take forever and I didn't really want it to bore everybody's socks off. Everybody likes to come and chat though, don't you? So there we go. So baubles, disco balls. And I love the Grinch. These could go on to tags. You can sit on a night and just cut them out and stick. It's basically cut and stick, but I can do one and that and put it into a frame, show you how to frame it properly and everything. If you would like to. So I've got the 3. Ink around the edges of them if you want to finish them off and you like that kind of thing. I've lost, there it is. I think because it doesn't just have to be like normal everyday decoupage. Like, I mean, I used to do it and it was pretty much everybody had like a million. Oh, there's the girl starting. 2 seconds. Luna! Fighting on my bed. And even on here, you go around the edges and hide. When you do this, it hides a multitude of sins. the likes of like you're cutting out and things like that if you're not the best, or if there's a bit you want to hide, it just works out. And you can use, when using this kind of paper, I would say use a glue stick more than anything else, because honestly the glue shows through this paper so bad. I'm trying to put as least amount as possible on. And look, the colour in my hands. Just like that. Try and get some of the glue off so I don't leave such a mess. And we're going to go around with blue because Stitch is blue. And it's going to look more purpley, and she is purple and pink. And I cannot remember the name of this one. I made cupcakes with Stitch on for Blake last year. And I made it with the, oh, what's it called? You know, the fake bakes that I make. I made it with the plaster and stuff for that. This one, I think I'm just going to glue her down, but I think she needs something else. I'm not sold on that. Luna! What's going on? What's Bella doing to you, Hinny? You're all wet. It should be hanging off you. I'll not be long. So we've got this here, which is the star. You know, the luxury star stuff that I was using last week. Let's just cut a few of these off. And just snip a couple of them off and pop them on. Again, I'll squish that one, Emma. And they will stick. They will stick and stay. No problem at all. And we'll go, and then we'll pop here on. And again, you can take it as far as you want. You can absolutely take it into mixed media. You can use them on jelly prints. Absolutely anything at all. But I think for super quick, super cheap, super easy Christmas cards, when you've got 3 billion to make, or you just want something a little bit different. I mean, I know craft's swinging roundabouts, but it's been a long time since I've seen the decoupage done like this, and it's been a long time since I did it. A long, long time. And I've got glue sticking. Oh, I'm a messy pup. Anyway, there we go. What are we thinking? Are we impressed? Are we not? Should I do a flower fairy? I do have a set of prints, which I've printed off here. I'm trying to think which would be the easiest one. So these ones, again, I couldn't sell the prints because I printed them up myself. I mean, it is on the nice paper and everything. But and this is the hazelnut fairy. So what I would do is, I know I've started now. I don't have the silicone though. I would cut this out, and this is going to be the aperture. They used to sell these in a shop, in where I live, and it was a picture framing shop, and he had books and books and books of prints, and they were like 35 pence each. Some of them went up to like £4 a print each, and it just depended on what you want, but usually they were about 70, 80 pence. I'm just putting around this quick so you don't have to. I'm not going to do all of this one. I'm not going to do all this one because I am enjoying it though. It takes us back. This one here. So I've got 5 images of it, and then you pick and choose what you want to cut out. So, and this one I would use silicone for. It's on the decent paper. It is nice big images, so it's easier to cut out. But move the paper when you're cutting. And this one I am actually going to ink around each layer. The other one that I did, the windflower fairy, it didn't take as long at all. I thought it was take as long because I haven't done it for so long. This leaf here behind, I would just take that off and leave it as the background. because it's it's like the furthest away thing, so it'll still be 3D, but you don't have to cut it out, and it just means that you've got one less sheet to do. Again, just like this. I can't find my silicone either. So again, I will just cut the first layer and we'll carry on with this another time. Or I'll do it and then you'll be able to see exactly how I built it up. I would probably recommend, I use an old pair of hairdressing scissors. You can absolutely get hairdressing scissors for super cheap. Paper will blunt them over time, but you can get them cheap. They're very sharp, but they often have a really decent point. And I would also suggest not using scissors with a serrated edge because it leaves like a powdery residue. I will show you what I mean on here around the edge. You can see this like powdery residue. I use serrated scissors on here, and I don't even know why I do it. I do not enjoy using the scissors. There's nothing wrong with the scissors if you enjoy them. I just don't. Again, it's each to everybody's own preference on what they do, but you can see how this one is cutting out a lot neater with smooth ones, and these are the Fiskars scissors, I think. I think they are. They came with like a guard on them, and they're super good. But I do like the Tim Holtz haberdashery scissors as well. Mine have got resin on, they need cleaned off, as you do. And popped off. Popped off! What's everybody been doing? Are you crafting for Christmas? Would you like... Now, I need some input, because I have asked a couple of times. Nobody ever says yes or no. Would you like me to do a couple of lives on making Christmas, like ideas for Christmas of what you can do with baubles and things? Or is nobody interested in making their own baubles? Or maybe get the clay out and do something with it? I was actually looking at a robin today, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could make a robin out of clay onto one of the wooden slices? I don't know how it would turn out, but I could try it. We could end up with a really crap robin, but I don't mind trying it. So these bits here, I would. Bella, what have you got? This little girl. I have the cutest picture of her and Luna this morning in my bed. I'll pop it on Facebook for later. And Jane, if you would like to see the photograph, I will send it to you. I have been meaning to message you, if you're here, or if you're watching later, for about 3 months. And I've never, I forget. See, this is it here. So all you do is you poke a little hole in, and then sort of snip it out. Again, if you're better with a craft knife, it might be easier to do it with that. But I wouldn't stress. I honestly would not stress. This is why a pointy pair of scissors is even better, because you can get in. But also because it's not the neatest of cutting out. Most prints, the ink sits on the surface, so it's always going to have this white inlay inside. So a pointy pair of scissors so you don't sort of jagger the edge too much, and also smooth motions help, so moving the paper, and start cutting, especially on the bigger areas, at the bottom of your scissors. Now, again, I don't want to be, for want of better words, I don't even want to say it. I don't even know if it's offensive or not. I don't want to be teaching anybody anything they already know. But also, using these kind of scissors, use them 2 fingers and use this one to control it. If you're using scissors, say, with, I don't even think I've got a pen here, like, you know, the smaller holes, I would always try and use this finger or this finger. Completely forget you've got that one. That's your guide finger. And you get more control cutting out with them two fingers than like that. You've got no control. It moves all over. Now it is hard to get used to, and each to their own. If you're fine with that, fair enough. But to me, oh my God, when I see it happening, it makes us want to cry. Even the boys, growing up, they used to cut like that, and I forced them into cutting out. I mean, Daniel was different. He's left-handed. He's a lefty. Like, watching him do anything, it's like watching a goldfish climb a tree. Bless his heart. He struggles a lot, but he even uses his ring finger now. It is a hairdresser thing, and like I say, I am fortunate enough to grow up with my mum, who was a hairdresser. Bella, what have you got? Bring it here. Oh, she's got something. She wants to swap it for a treat. Lost my trail of thought there. So my mum's a hairdresser, so I copied her. I don't think she ever showed us how to do it. I think I just did it because that's how I seen her do it. But trust us, when you practice with it, you learn to cut out a lot neater. Obviously, if you're happy doing it, don't change just because I've said so. There we go. So he will sit on top of there. I will get the rest of it out. And then the next layer will be... I've lost my prints. Bella! I haven't got any... Have I got anything here? I'll be 2 seconds. I need to get this bit of plastic off here. Spin it out. Give us it. Thank you. There you go. Here, Loon. One for you too. There you go, little girl. Yeah, you have to take it in. That's what you had. She's a monkey. So the next one... And the thing is with printing them off as well, I can do as many as I want. So the next one, I'll take those leaves off. So they've got to go. And this leaf's got to go. Like that. So I normally, when I see what I'm doing, I cut through them. So up here, Bella, get out from under there. It's been longer than half an hour, hasn't it? Does anybody want a Frenchie? Would anybody like a Frenchie? Again, just up here, I'm going to cut around her head like that. And I'm going to keep that fringe, that little bit of curly hair. Now, I'm not going to keep the likes of the stems and things like that because it's not something it would draw your eye to. Being careful around her face so I don't end up with a spiky edge. Now, this hand is behind everything else. So that one is going to come off. And we'll see, all right? And then I'm going to cut around these flowers here. I'm really enjoying myself. I love cutting out. And I do honestly understand that it's not for everybody. But these fairies are going to go in my new sitting room. With the pink paint, I've decided I'm keeping it. Because I was a bit, With the pink paint and the cream. And these fairies are going to go up. And I'm going to get frames for them. I'm going to upcycle the frames. And I might even, stealing the idea from our Lorna, have a wall of just different art. I might not, because I'll never get round to it. It could be 2029 before I actually get a coat of paint in the sitting room. But the thought is there. So again, cutting these flowers out. Bella, get off. Round our fingers. Careful not to chop our fingers off. Not that it matters, because we will be cutting another one out. I want to cut that little stem off there, but I am going to keep this leaf here. And the stem that goes down a dress here, I'm going to leave that bit on. Just to make it look like, you know, when the stems come off the flowers like that. Bella, get it off. Pack it in now. You're going to end up in the naughty bin. I will. Go and get your toys. You've got gazillions of them. Gum. Sorry. Oh, Looney. Do you think they want us? 2 minutes, Hinny. What's the matter? You're not getting wrong. It's the gremlin. Do you know who she reminds us of? Stitch. That's exactly what I say. So I am keeping this stem in here because I am going to cut our dress out again. Like that. And then I will come down and keep this and this big leaf here. Is everybody all right? Nobody asleep? Has everybody gone to sleep? Hello? My youngest daughter trained as a hairdresser. She always uses. Yeah, it's honestly, it's when it comes to cutting out and things like that, it does give you more control. Now this stem here, I'm cutting it off because it comes behind, and I kind of want these bits here to come forward. So there was 3. I'm cutting that one off because it goes behind that stem. And then I am going to, again, moving the paper more than anything. Take that off. And it gets easier and easier the more you take off. Again, wiggling the paper as you go. Again, I'm not going to glue this together with foam because I want to use the silicone. I am keeping the name of the fairy on this one because it's the last thing to go on. I probably won't 3D it up on its own, but it will be going on with this last big leaf here because that is the point closest. There we go, and then just cut around the lines, super duper easy. I'd love to know who the artist is who did the flower fairies. I do know it. A signature's there, and I will Google it, but I need to know again. Because she did hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds. It might be him. Can't remember. And I'm not sure if they're out of print. If they are out of print, then I could easily sell these out of copyright. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know if when Crafters Companion did the flower fairies, if they bought a license or it was just out of copyright. Like there's quite a few images that are just out of copyright. I'm going to move them because we're getting lots of bits of paper in. So now we've got the 3rd layer, which is that. And then the 4th layer, I would cut out the fairy on our own, which we can do. We can do if everybody's okay. So again, I'm going to keep this big leaf to one side. So I'm going to go down the stem so I don't cut our feet off and keep that. It doesn't matter about that. I'll cut that out again. So this one here, I'm going to keep. Oh, I'll be 2 seconds. Stay there. Thank you very much. Ha! Well, I never. It was Amazon with me clean. It's all going here at night, isn't it? So that leaf there, I would normally keep, but I didn't because I'm live. So these leaves here are coming off. And I want this one here, again, cutting the stem off behind it. And I am going to keep this little stem here that you stand on because it comes in front of our feet. But this leg here that is behind, that's going to come off. And I'm thinking more about how many prints I'm going to use. Because you could go on forever and ever and ever in a day. You really could. Building it up. Again, just take this off. Bella's trying to dig the box. I'm so thankful I work next to the door when that happens. I wasn't expecting it to come today. I must have clicked I wasn't expecting it to come. It's you know the things on Amazon where it automatically like renews. I did that for the clay because I always forget. So this arm here is going to come off there. And then I'm going to cut up and into these flowers because they're attached to a hand. But I'm going to take some of the raggy bits off the flowers, some of the petals. Raggy bits. And again, it does get fiddly, but it's well worth it. And things like this as well, the kind of, you can get away with taking a little bit off. Like if you miss a bit, I wouldn't worry because of the way it is. So I've took the third one off that was behind. And then that leaf's off there actually. And I'm going to take these petals off because I cut them out on the last one. And then back in to her fingers. And we'll see, all right? And just trying to get a finger without chopping any off because that's the kind of thing people would notice, which, I mean, it doesn't matter. There we go. So I'm cutting down our dress, taking that off under our dress there and just down to our leg. And again, keeping that toe in and coming up and this little nodule on the thing, and that leaf's supposed to be on here. So I'm just going to leave that bit there. So that will go on next. This big leaf here, I would keep and cut out separate. And you can make this big leaf a feature point as well. So this, you could cut it out of the next one as well and have it really sticking forward. Like really 3D up. So again, would you like me to keep this and get the silicone out for Sunday to show you how I put it together? So it's that one, the big leaf. This big leaf here, I'm going to cut out, and the fairy sign. Bella, behave yourself, you little gremlin. I'll put you in the naughty bin. Absolutely not. Get out of it now. Stop it. Craigie. Do you know how many times I say no a day to this little girl? Get off. No. Spit it out. I say spit it out constantly. There we go. So that one. And then I've got one print left if she hasn't just stole it. No, she hasn't. Hi, Looney. So the next print, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut round it so it's not got too much white on it. It just makes it easier cutting it out to the point where you want it. So this here, I'm going to cut out this. There's apparently a hazelnut tree just opposite where I live. But I keep thinking I'm going to go and get it. I think it's this time of year that they're actually ready to pick. So this one here, I said I wasn't going to do it on its own, but I am. So that's going to go there. The next one will be this one here. So even though I cut it off the last one, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep these two leaves actually. So these two. And again, moving the paper to keep the jagged edge. And you can get away with a multitude of sins when the leaves are jagged, because as long as you're wiggling it, it's going to look jagged. So they will go on there and cover the bit I chopped off. And then I am going to have this bit of a wing, cutting that bit off there. And keeping this bit of our wing. But on our dress here, I'm going to cut that bit out up to there. So now we're just making the details come in. Our dress there. I would cut our legs off at this point. Brutal, I know. And have the dress. Just like that. Obviously, our arm is going to come out with the dress, I think. So I don't know quite yet. Yeah, actually, we're going to have her hair and her hat. So, like that. And we're not going to have her face. We're just going to have her hair and a hat. And again, this is where you use the silicone to your advantage. So you can push it down a little bit more so it doesn't look like there's a massive gap between a hat and a hair. So that's the difference when using silicone and the foam pads. The foam pads, you're kind of stuck with the height unless you've got a gazillion different of them. And you've got 2 mil, 1 mil, half a mil. Silicone is just awesome for this. And then straight down here on our dress, I'm going to take that down. And even just layering them up on top of each other, you can see the difference it's going to make. On the flowers here, I would take this jaggedy bit of petal and possibly down into the hazelnut and round, and then you can pop that on there. And it's a puzzle. That's what it is. It's a puzzle, and it's a very enjoyable puzzle. Bella! Me and you's going to fall out, little girl. I cut those ones off, so I'm just going to have this bit, because it sticks out the furthest, on its own. Oh, and I would rather leave more on. Yes, you can use your foam pads. There isn't really another glue. Obviously, the pinflake glue gel, use that. That works. And this leaf here, I'm going to have it, because the pinflake glue gel is just basically a different silicone. Use the Sticks All stuff. That doesn't smell like silicone. It hasn't got the vinegary smell. I use Sticks All a lot. And you obviously buy a big tub of it. That leaf will go on there again. That's going to be a feature point. And I'm going to say, I think that is it. Now, do I have pinflake glue gel? Let me see, because I will put this together. If I do, what I'm going to do, though, is all these little bits, I'm just going to build up a little bit of a conveyor belt for them, just so I don't lose any little bits. Right, I did have some pinflake glue gel. Nearest. What did I do with it? Was it dried up or was it not? It must have been. Give us a second. Now. No. No. I can leave this absolutely if you would like us to show you how I put it together with the glue. For Sunday, you stop being naughty, little miss. Nah, I don't. Like I say, I will wait till Sunday to put it together. This will not move from here if you would like us to, but I need yeses or nos. Yeah, you're probably too late. Squirrels will have had them. If maybe's yes. Will you get off? Now, get up here. Ah, come. Do you want to know what I've just spotted? Bella! Behave. I've just spotted the pinflake glue gel. Sure I have. There it is. Should we stick it together? And then Sunday we can do something else. Right, jump down. Go on, see Looney. Do I have a cocktail? I've got this. This will do nicely. Right. Let's do it. So it's not dried up, is it? I'm going to do it. I think I've had this glue for years. Is everybody all right? I was expecting this to... Oh. Oh, this is annoying, is it all? Always prepared, actually. Let's just do it. Right. There we go, it works. So all the layers, I'm going to take off and have them ready. Now, I haven't cut out all the bits I was going to as such yet. Just give us a second and I'll see if there's any big bits. These bits, maybe. Sorry, I will have to. It is going to go on a frame. So I do want them. I do want it to look. Bella, get off mine. Does anybody want a Frenchie? Honestly, I'll put her in the post tomorrow. This bit here right now, I'm going to take it off because we've got plenty of different layers, that little bit of fringe. And it just makes it easier for cutting inside. Again, around her face. I wouldn't cut too much off though, because you will be able to see it as you build it up. Is the pinflare glue gel still going? Can you still get it? So again, now I'm not too bothered about scratching her face or anything with the ink, because again, it's gonna build up. And I'm not going to cry too much either if I don't get all the little bits out. I just want the more noticeable ones, because nobody's going to get that close to it and scrutinise it that much. It's more for me, this, than anything else. There we go. This bit here, because bright white, and then I'm done. We can stick it together without us getting too upset. So this is more for me. All these little bits I'm taking out is more for me, because I'll see them and it'll drive us crazy. But this is also what it was like when I was growing up with my mum, because she would say, well, you can see that, and it's got a little line on. And so she's a perfectionist. I am absolutely not a perfectionist, but I do like things to look kind of neat. I'm going to use walnut stain, and this has got blue on, hasn't it? Let's get some of the blue off. There we go. Right. Just, I'm not too fussed about going around all of the edges. Just any bits that aren't cut out like totally perfect, like these bits. Inking the white away. Usually I would take quite a bit more time, but I mean, I can always do another. It isn't a problem. It certainly isn't a hardship. This bit here, because I've scratched some of the ink. And then, there we go. And then what I do is I roll it over. And your best bet, especially on big bits, is take a pencil and roll it like that. Just in the palm of your hand. There's a Frenchie. Just like that. And then taking a cocktail stick, or in my case, a ball tool. Ugh. I am going to put some blobs of silicone glue on. Just like this. And you can really control where it goes. Yeah, Dominique, if you don't like the smell of the silicone glue, use Sticks All. It doesn't smell. It's got like quite a floral. I mean, it's not a pleasant smell to me, but it's got like a florally smell. Like that. Where it's bigger, you can put bigger blobs. Where it is tiny little bits, it's always best to put some glue on. Cocktail stick's still much better. I used, this is a true story, this, when I got knocked over, how I started this, I had like pins in my leg that long, and when they took them out, they give us them in a jar, because I was still a child, and I used those to put silicone on decoupage pictures. Now, how disgusting is that? I mean, I thought I've always liked to upcycle. There we go. So I've got plenty on. And then just turn it over. Get all the bits off. Just turn it over. Holding it the best you can. Just pop it on. And then you do get a bit of wiggle room. And this is where you can get it absolutely perfect. I'm so close to the mic. I'm so sorry if I'm blowing your eardrums off. And I'm not pushing it down too much. I am just moving it so it's directly over the top, like that. And the second one will be this one again. Taking the pencil, rolling it. This gives it quite a lot of depth, and it's not just flat stuck pictures. And again, oh, what did I drop? Did I drop a leaf? No. And then Going around the edge. I much prefer inking around the edge. I have to say, I do prefer finished. Hiding all these little bits. I mean, even when you buy the prints, when I used to buy the prints, I used to get this white line because it's really hard to not, right, I don't know if it may be impossible, I don't know. This bit here needs to come out in our leg. Forgot about that. Again, as long as the bigger bits are out, the little ones don't really matter too much. And of course, you can always take it further and start adding in dried flowers and things to it if you wanted to. Really, really, like, take it to the next level. And little bits of paper off. You don't want any little bits of paper stuck in your silicone. Turn that over. Again, where it's bigger areas, put bigger dollops of glue and spread it. It does not have to be neat and tidy, the glue. I would say more concentration on popping it on and cutting out than whereabouts on the actual, like how the glue looks on the back. And again, any little bits, just add little dollops of glue. You don't want it sort of like I did with the cards, where I was just like putting the foam on in places just to stick it down. If this is going in a frame as a gift or it's going to be home decor, your best bet is always to finish it off properly. Trying to keep the silicone from going on the front. You can always take a little bit of silicone from elsewhere and pop it on. And again, just flipping it over. I would move this out of the way when you're working on it because you don't want to squash it down. There's silicone on the front I didn't want, but that's fine. I doubt the craft police will come. So again, you can see the second layer. And you can really see it coming together. Any little bits of glue, use a cocktail stick to maneuver it out. And this is the next one of the fairy. So this is layer 4. And then all the extra bits you can add in whenever. Is everybody all right? How long have I had you? I've had you here over an hour. My gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh, just like that. And again, silicone. If you feel like, I mean, you don't want to waste your silicone or your glue. So if you put a big dollop on like that, you can easily pick it up and move it around. And sometimes it's a little bit easier to do that than fighting with the big tubs of silicone. Or Sticks All. I promise the Sticks All is fantastic. That's usually what I use. Looney, I'll not be long. Oh, it's not Looney, it's Belle. Throwing herself at the chair. And have a bit here. I'm going to take a bit from there and pop it on her foot. And a little bit from here to put on her leg, just to hold it still. And then over we go, and she goes on there. Like that. And like I say, the wiggle room is a lot better using the glue. And then obviously you can push it around. Like I've pushed that bit down so it already looks like it's coming up 3D. They're the little bits of hazelnut. I'm going to pop her on again. This is the final layer for the fairy. Again. And inking around the edges gives it another layer of depth. It makes it even more 3D. And on the last layers, I'm taking a little bit more time. Like on a hand and things, because they're the bits that you would notice more. Oh, it's a big bit of glue. I'm going to pop that on her wing and share it out. Oh, there. On her hand, she will need some on. Bella! I will be 2 seconds. Right. Now, get in. There, you've done it now. Baby gates up. A little monkey. She'll be in the hoof. I'll go in, she'll be sat under the bird cage. In the hoof because I've locked her out. Or she'll just burst through what I've just put up. Luna can open the baby gates. So on the hat here, so I was saying, using a cocktail stick and using it so it's not too high up, so it doesn't look like a hat's massive. And see? And then we're nearly there. We're nearly there and you can be free. So on this bit, this leaf here, again, just like that, ink, and pop it on. And I kind of want it to be more up like this, so that bit's more 3D. Don't think I'm going to put the last layer of leaf on. The hazelnuts. So hazelnuts are completely safe to eat on the trees. I did not knew they grew wild in trees, and obviously hazelnuts, you put them in chocolate. You should know this, Emma. But I mean, like wild hazelnuts. There we go. So again, with that, that's far too much, so I'd half it. And just making sure you're getting the right way around. A cocktail stick is a lot easier, I have to say. This one onto there. And you can varnish these as well. So I've got glue all over my fingers because I'm me. So if you get glue everywhere, you can get a paper varnish or matte medium, gloss medium, whatever you want, and absolutely varnish them. Spray them with a matte sealer. There's loads of stuff you can do. Again, it's paper. You can do whatever you want to it. There we go. And I'm just going to scoop out a bit more glue for this side. If you feel like your glue is too thick, just keep scooping it up and popping it back on. So that bit there hides. Do you know why I cut it off too much? That bit there will hide it. Once it's all together, you can kind of maneuver it around a bit and make sure it's all lined up and straight. I would pick it up, have a look at it. Make sure it's all nice and straight and even. Because nobody wants a wonky... Look at my hair again. Nobody wants a wonky fairy. Especially not because it'll look like she's got two noses. Like that. So I'd rather push her that way a little bit. So her face was lined up. Than anything else. And then the last one. I think that's it. And then I think you're free. And once I get frames for these, I'm not in a hurry though because I'm not decorating anytime soon. Certainly not before Christmas. And then I'm going to pop that on there, right on the top, and it finishes it off perfect. I'm just picking it up, manoeuvring anything that I don't think straight enough. The likes of our wings and things, not worried about. It's more our face and our hands and our arms. What are we thinking? Do you think anybody will have a go? What do you reckon? Is everybody going out to buy wrapping paper? I'm going to put this in a bag so I don't waste it. Oh, Emma, you just squished it. Let's see, I've got glue on it, but I will probably spray this anyway. Put a face back and a hand. Just because I had glue all over my hands. So this one, and then of course, the two super easy, super cute Christmas cards. But this can be applied to anything at all. Absolutely anything. Did anybody find this useful? Did I bore everybody to tears? I will eventually take pictures, I promise, of everything I've got. I know I keep saying that, but yes, I don't mind the smell. Yeah, you can buy smaller tubes of silicone. You can actually buy like crafters size, or you can buy well, smaller sizes of the sticks all as well. I mean, I use sticks all for everything. Well, I did when I had some. I mean, I was sticking all sorts. I would stick Christmas decorations together. I would do the the mixed media with it. I would stick everything together. So say I was sticking resin to something, I would use the sticks all to do that. build frames with it. There's absolutely all sorts you can glue with it. It's not just for bathrooms and decoupage. So say you want to glue, well, anything, you use it up. So any kind of crafting, just use it up and it'll work. And you can see where the glue hasn't come through, apart from the splodges off my fingers because I'm a mucky pup. There we go. With that, I'm going to love you and leave you because I have kept you for well over an hour tonight. I will see you Sunday at 8 p.m. for the final Colour Your World of 2025. And then I'll get to work on the January one. Well, I've already got it, but I would like to get to work and a head start on it. But the final one, who's going to join in next year? Spread the word. Join in and spread it everywhere. Let's get more people crafting in 2026. So have a lovely weekend. I will see you Sunday at 8 p.m. All being well. All being well. Final Colour Your World 2025. Where's the year gone? See you all Sunday. Have a lovely evening and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.